Welcome to Crudely Drawn Swords Trilogy.
Oh, thank you.
The actual play advert. Yeah, just buffering here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That will have to suffice. You can imagine what it was we were actually trying to say there, or I was. We're an actual play something. And
no one calls them actual plays anymore.
Well, okay, we're the AP. We're the OGs of AP.
Yeah.
We're using our APIs to look at APIs. I'm your host and GM, Ben Moxon. I also wrote the game Trilogy. You can find more about it at trilogyrpg.com. Please go and buy it. I haven't got a job and I need to get one by the end of the month. And the end of the month is tomorrow. So,
really close.
Yeah, it's really time is tight. It's a good game too. It's very good. You're not going to feel like you didn't get enough pages for your money. Let me put it that way. With me, as always, we have three big heroes, of which the biggest is, of course, Anders Rowe, played by Gwyn. The luckiest is Arkwise Turpentine, played by Ali. And the best at constructing devices is Brad Muscles, played by Stu.
My devices are amazing.
When last we saw our heroes,
I'm making my devices.
We had gone through, they completed their first week and survived the Curse of Fonevot, where by some mysterious agency, one of the company was removed from the game. The mysterious agency being, of course, listener votes or viewer votes. Now, our second week begins. The person voted off was Darad Macaro from Team Beta, who was fortunate in a way for Anders, seeing as she seemed quite suspicious of his weirdly fortunate ways. We'd also had revelations about the assistance that Anders had gained from a mysterious benefactor known only as the Broken. Probably fine. Probably chill.
Benefactor.
That's fine.
There's a clue there.
Yeah. And so now, as we begin the second week, let us see what the world has in store. So, it is whatever suffices for Monday morning in this world. You haven't had breakfast because that doesn't exist. No one's heard of it.
We are hungry.
You're hungry.
Who wrote this nonsense?
Who created this world? Who's responsible for this? Not Ali.
It
We just
wasn't
pack
me.
the calories in before bedtime.
Yeah, that's it. You just load up.
Carry us through to lunch.
It's a well-known fact that eating before you sleep is an ideal way to is an ideal pathway to health. This is acknowledged across the world.
Why would you have midnight feasts?
When I woke up this morning, I was thinking, how did people make sieves in like the olden days? That must have been really hard.
I think you would have used like muslin cloth for a while.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Or like a colander with big holes.
Yeah. I was
But
trying
like,
to work out how you would have
rice.
done the metal thing, but yeah, you would have just used a different material, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like
And a lot of the time, like if you make jam and things like that, is you use a muslin cloth still because it's quite loose weave, so it's not doesn't have
like
to be
a,
that high tech.
Yeah.
Like a pond dipping net that you can stick your jam in.
Yeah. And that
Comes straight out though. You just want the water out of it. It basically, I've just made the jam come out of some holes.
I mean, you wouldn't have pips in it, though, would you?
You would. Pips would definitely fit through a pond dipping net. But you
Strawberry
wouldn't have
Pip.
tadpoles in it.
Depends how big your pips are, I suppose.
Yeah, you
And how
wouldn't,
small your pond is.
you wouldn't have tadpoles in it, and that'd be something on newts. Nothing ruins jam like suddenly finding a
Newts.
palmate newt in your jar of jam. That really makes the best of things.
Nice pond scum jam.
Scum jam. I fancy that now. Pond scum jam is my new character name. And also musical genre.
The Pond Scum Jam Band. I can kind of imagine what that'd sound like. So, there is actually a song that uses that I have heard by
Yes, Pond Scum Jam.
Cosmo Sheldrake. There's a song called something like...
Also made up.
Yeah, a song called something like Soggy Bottom, which uses like bubbling sounds as part of the instrumentation. And I think that probably is more or less what you're describing.
Pond Scum Jam.
I don't remember the rest of the song, but I do remember another one from that album which has a bit in it that's like, come along with an eloquent skeleton. It's...
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's a song called Come Along Now. You've probably heard it somewhere. It might have been on Six Music. Anyway, that is neither here nor there. We are in the Fantasy Castle, one of the highest budget, most expensive reality TV shows ever created by this kind of technological media
the production
complex.
company that made it.
Well, by any production company in this world, not just by Satisfied Content Productions. So, it is morning and you have been called into the hall once more of the Merry King. All 11 of you are there. And which is a good point. I should just check my cast so I can remember who everyone is. God damn it. There we go. Good news. So you're called into this hall and the Merry King awaits you. And as often happens at these types of starts to your quests, he greets you all. He says, "My heroes, though we be diminished in number by the cruel vicissitudes of the curse, those who remain are the strongest and the best of us. And that is fortunate. We have learnt some important things from your missions last week. Team Beta faced terrible odds as they rescued prisoners from the Skelebarian stronghold. Team Gamma entered an ancient tower long associated with the court and recovered an important artifact stolen there. Team Alpha and Delta discovered how the inevitable court is stealing our people to create their army in different regions. But it is this artifact, recovered by Team Gamma. And at that, like, Ember Rass is like smiling round smugly. Says it is this artifact we now seek to use. Enigmondo? And Enigmondo, the court wizard, shuffles forward and says, "This is the Compendulous Crystal." And he's holding up a kind of crystal on a chain. Stolen long ago by the court because they know its power lies close to theirs and could reveal their weakness. There are certain tools created to protect the realm from their evil, and the Compendulous Crystal will help us to find them. He lifts the crystal on its hanging chain. It begins to glow, a pulse of light moving along from the top to the bottom. There's, the crystal tells us that the 4 tools lie beneath our very feet. We believe the rock beneath the castle to be solid, but my researches have shown that is not correct. Far beneath our feet lies the ancient labyrinth of Newt. And the king steps forward and says, "Heroes, you must enter this labyrinth, a place of ancient and perilous legend, and retrieve the 4 treasures from those catacombs. I fear they shall be well guarded. Prepare yourselves for dangerous traps, ancient curses, and angry spirits. Yet we must recover the pyre blade, the axe Esovefel, the bright halo, and the flute that grants the maze its name. Without these, the struggle before us will be hard indeed. With them, we will have a fine chance. Are you ready to confront the labyrinth of Newt?"
Yeah.
No.
No.
What were
right,
the artifacts' names again?
The pyre blade,
Pie blade
the
for cutting
axe,
pie.
Fire blade.
the axe Esovefel,
How'd you spell that?
Esovefel. The bright halo,
Okay.
and the legendary flute that grants the maze its name.
The flute of Newt.
The flute of Newt.
The very same.
The one and
Okay.
only.
Only. I'd have had special effects.
Enigmondo leads you down to the cellar and then opens a hidden door in the wall that slides aside to reveal a descending staircase. So how are you going to play this descent into the labyrinth? Are you going to try and take the lead? Are you going to hang back? Where do you want to be relative to the other teams?
Well, I don't think it's me that would do it. I think we should try and get to the front because, sharp elbows. Those guys.
Let's
Is
go
it Gamma
first.
or something?
Yeah. So
We
you're
are
going-
Alpha. It only makes sense.
Yeah.
Alphabetical
Yeah.
order, please.
Yeah.
That's what Enigmondo said.
Egmondo says, "Yes, that's fine. I don't really mind."
Yep, he said it. He said
He
it.
said it. That was him saying it.
Yeah.
And he hands the crystal to Rocchio Pomoxis, who is in the group right behind you. And so you descend this spiral staircase. It takes half an hour of descent to get down. So you're walking down for a
They're
very
not just
long
doing
time.
reshoots, are they?
That's
No.
quite a lot of walking.
No, but it's basically an escalator. You're walking down an up escalator. To create
Bastards.
the impression of a much, much longer staircase than you're actually on.
Could have just done that in editing and post. Bastards.
They want you to suffer. That's what the audience demands. As you reach the bottom of the stairs, there's a fine arched door, and around the door are it's decorated with skulls all round it. And you pass through this skull doorway into a wide hall, and at the centre of the hall, you see a many-faceted crystal, like a huge crystal, maybe 15, 20 metres across. And it kind of glitters in the light from your lanterns. Within that crystal, and it's like the crystal is sunk into the ground, so it's almost like half a crystal. And within that, you see a sword, an axe, a golden disc, and what looks like a recorder or tin whistle enclosed in the crystal. All around it, about 6 feet away, are a series of upright posts. And the top of each one has a little concave space in it. And from every side of the hall, you're coming in through a corner. Every side of the hall has a door leading off it. What are you doing as you enter this space?
Looking.
Yes, that's the flute of Newt and
We
his buddies.
found
then.
them! Huzzah!
Game over. We got here
I mean,
first.
it's right there. So
We'll start walking towards them through the
Yeah,
water.
sure. And you can get right up to this crystal. But there's no clear way to open it or get through to it.
let's have a little look around and investigate the
We should go to
doors.
the Aztec
Oh.
zone.
I
Yeah,
was going to offer the team 2 ways to get in. Punchy and fisty.
Okay, so Anders, are you investigating a place?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see a roll for that.
11.
11, very good. So you can
Efficient.
you can ask 3 questions from the list and also your extra magic question if you want.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So what's the greatest threat? What's the best way in, out, or through? What's hidden here? What happened here recently? What advantage can I find here? What should I be on the lookout for? Or what evidence of person or thing can I find here?
what should I be on the lookout for?
So as you search around, you can see that that these pillars represent, firstly, you can see that these pillars are shaped with a number of sides as though they were to contain a smaller crystal of the same shape as the large crystalline dome in front of you. So you think if you could find some of these crystals, that would be a good way of opening up the dome.
I see.
We actually do have to go to the Aztec zone, lads.
Yeah. All right then. What's the greatest threat here? And it can't be automatic lock-in.
well, now I'm stuck. No, the greatest threat is, and I think, like, as you look around at the crystal itself, and I think you see something happen here. I think Togs Gernard puts a hand on the crystal and is immediately thrown across the room, like blasted back by what appears to be a very strong electric shock. So you think messing with the crystal in other ways might have consequences. But the other thing that you can see is that there appear to be trapdoors around the walls that something could come out of. And as you kind of inspect those, one of them opens and a curious little goblin appears and comes trotting up to you. So this is like 3-foot high goblin.
Mm-hmm.
With a lot of questions.
Long pointy ears. Not so much with questions.
He said he was curious.
Oh yes, that's true. He does apparently have questions. I mean, curious looking. You're not accustomed to seeing goblins. This looks quite real. Like, yeah, the head's a little latexy, but surprisingly real for a world where there aren't many goblins. Wearing a coat in a kind of leopard print, completely bald, and this goblin comes through and kind of does.
I'll hold my finger up to him. I'm not done yet, goblin. What advantage can I find here?
The The goblin says, "What advantage do you seek, sir? What would you know? Hmm?"
That is not how this skill works, Goblin.
So, what advantage can you seek here? Can you find it? What you can see is that there are the 4 doors around the room. As you look into them, they look like they have a symbol above each door. And those symbols are not medieval, Aztec, industrial future. They're completely unlike those. But you can see...
Are they more blade, axe, halo, flute?
Yeah,
shapes?
that I think that's the kind of thing. But they also have an indication, like flute is also, so the halo has a kind of symbol along with it that you actually saw in your scroll of ancient symbols. But this isn't one that's associated with the court. This is one implying wisdom or knowledge. And the axe has a symbol implying strength.
Just a picture of some guns.
Yeah, yes, it's just the muscle arm emoji. And the sword has one implying speed. And the flute has one that is really quite hard to make out. But you suspect that it means something like performance or wit or something like that. So you think
Good job, we haven't got a bard.
Your reading of these is that if the teams were to go down into different sections, which seems plausible with 4 teams and 4 doors, it is possible that you could choose one that you thought would work better for your group by aligning yourselves to one of these.
Yeah, what do we think? Performance, speed, strength, or whatever the other one was.
Speed,
Wisdom.
strength, or wisdom, yes, or knowledge.
Wisdom.
I'd say wisdom, knowledge.
Knowledge? Yeah.
Let's
right,
not
go
worry
for it.
about our own personal strengths. Let's think of a team. We're all smart cookies here.
We are all
That's
smart people, that's right.
Yes.
Speaking of which, Goblin!
Click your fingers like you should have.
How can we help you? What do you want, boy?
The goblin says, "You have come to the labyrinth. What fun we shall have, what adventure. What... You wish to gain the treasures, we assume. For that is why the labyrinth was made, to find those worthy, those bold, those clever. Which are you, sir?"
Clever.
Clever! Very well. You
And we'll start walking towards the door with the clever symbol on it.
up to 2 of your companions may follow me. And he leads you away. And you see goblins approaching the other teams as well. And so, yes, you are led into...
Legion of Richard O'Brien's.
Yeah, the little weird rich... The things that are different are their coats are different animal prints. But otherwise, they look basically identical. The creepy
So what
thing
was our animal?
Yours is leopard print.
Leopard. And what are the others?
It's the only detail I remembered.
There's
Rhino.
Giraffe.
There's tiger, giraffe,
Badger.
badger print, just really hairy, just Wolverine. It's just
Like a
hair.
Pepe Le Pew sort of
Pig.
white stripe.
There's only 4 of them. They don't. So we don't need to go into every animal. And so the goblin says, "I will be your guide through this terrifying maze of crystals, which we call the Maze of Crystals."
Mm.
You may call
I
me.
thought it was the Maze of Newt.
It's the Labyrinth of Newt. But this
So why do you
part
call it
of
the Maze of Crystals?
is the Maze of Crystals. This is only
Is
the
that
part that you are entering. And as you pass in, you see that the walls are indeed coated with crystals that light your way. They light up as you approach and then darken as you pass.
As it's a maze, instead of taking the long way, can we just take the Minotaur? Not many times you get to use that joke, but when I do.
Yeah, and so the goblin says, of course, this way, and he shows you through a doorway. What do you do?
We go through the doorway, I imagine.
Okay, great. The goblin says, you will gain a crystal here, should you be strong enough, and the door closes behind you. And then another door opens. You hear a kind of weird mooing, bellowing sound coming through it.
What?
And then
Oh, I fear
other
this isn't
side
a place
opens.
for puns to be spat lightly.
and what should emerge but a Minotaur?
At least we didn't have to go the long way around. I should have waited. That would have been good.
So you find yourselves confronting. This room is like hexagonal. It's not huge. It's maybe 15 meters across. So that's my go-to size tonight, apparently. Who's leading
sofas.
And the Minotaur that comes in, it's big, upright, very bulky, and you can see on its head, between its horns, is a crystal, like embedded in its head. And it is carrying a battle axe in each hand.
Mm.
Who's taking the lead in this confrontation?
I think Anders was.
Yeah, he's definitely.
I'm just going to step backwards behind Brad Muscles.
I thought we were supposed to have the being clever one, so there must be a clever way around there.
I thought this was the clever one, but maybe the clever thing was that we were going to face the first thing we said or something daft like that.
maybe someone needed to suffer for the Minotaur pun. And it's going to be everyone.
God damn it.
So, yeah, okay. I think...
excuse me, you.
Hello?
What do we do now? Do you want to play chess, maybe?
It kind of stomps towards you with its two axes.
I was going to say, don't worry, Anders, I've got this. And then I'm going to stand there.
Brad, roll me, open a scene.
Oh, okay. Where?
Just pick a stat you think you'll need here.
I mean, let's go strength. Where's
That's
open a scene?
a good idea.
I don't see open a scene.
No, just do a straight strength roll.
Oh, okay.
Pow.
9.
Oh.
Intermediate success.
Close.
So let's create a scene. Brad, Anders arcwise. Brad, and it's a 9. Okay, so that's going to give you an action point, Brad, but no one else. So as this creature stomps over, what are you doing?
I'm going to step forward, move Anders with my arm, and I'm going to put my head down so I'm looking up through my eyebrows, and I'm going to start huffing the floor with my foot like a bull. And there's steam snorting out of my nostrils as I'm building up power, and then I'm just going to run like a bull and bonk him in the tummy with my head.
Amazing. This sounds... So
that's the one thing the Minotaur respects.
And the Minotaur drops down to meet you. Horns aplenty. So are you just charging in head first?
What I might do at the last second is rise up and grab at his horns as if that was my plan all along, and try and jump on the back of him.
Okay, so if you're going head to head, I think that would be engage an opponent with force. I think we can do this as engage an opponent with force.
Yeah.
And I think you're probably using strength.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm clicking. Oh, wow. Here's another little. Right, where's that gone?
you have to select from the drop down strength or subtlety.
Nice. And then it pings over to the right hand side, making everything else disappear. Very helpful, very helpful. And I'll just roll that strength.
Yep.
Oh, it's
10.
not big. Oh, no, it is 10.
It is
good.
big.
I got +2.
So you can deal your harm or achieve another simple goal. So you can either deal your standard harm, which will be 1 harm, but it could be that you grab onto these horns and like you're hanging onto its head, which might give you a chance to seize the crystal.
What I was going to do is as I grab the horns, where's the camera gone? I'm going to do a pull up and then wrap my legs round his arms, pinning his arms to his side like crab legs. So I'm holding onto the horns.
This creature is, you can feel
like a crab.
Incredibly powerful limbs, but you've got this grip right now. And you're kind of...
Get that crystal quick!
Okay, so who's going to... It's either of you, Anders, Arkwise, who thinks they have a good strategy to assist here? While Brad hangs on to this head.
Well, I think that tail that I've got that I sit on, if I kind of sat back on it quite a way, it's probably got some kind of springiness to it, so I could bounce through the air, and as I go past it, just like bash the crystal out of his head.
Okay, so while it's distracted, you're going to face a challenge with subtlety.
Yes.
And we'll see how that works. It might go great.
It might go excellent.
Oh my god! It's an 11!
Yeah.
It actually has gone great. That's not what I was expecting. So
what? It was a brilliant idea.
So you can't spring, boost with your tail. I like the idea that maybe like you kind of
Indiana Jones it and replace it with like a muffin from the breakfast buffet.
Yes.
If only breakfast existed.
Oh, if only existed.
Brutal. So
I'm sure you must have comp muffins.
Yeah, I know there'll definitely be something like that.
Probably nicked one from the crew buffet.
Yeah. A hard-boiled egg. I like the muffin actually. That's about the right size. So you come flying past, kind of up its back, I guess. You like jump and hook yourself up to get over that head because Brad's kind of clinging onto the front of it. And now you're seizing this crystal, which you do grab. And that seems to enrage it further. It's like...
Has it come out of the hole? Oh, it just sounds sad. Oh.
And it's trying to shake. It's trying to shake Brad free.
Spooky.
As it does. And so, yeah, Brad, as you were hanging on to the Minotaur, then our friend Arkwise has dived across, seized the crystal, and
we'll take a short break.
Even though she swapped it deftly for a muffin, the Minotaur seems to know the crystal is gone, and it's furious. What do you do?
I'm gonna vault onto its back, hook it in a headlock, and go to sleep, son. Just go to sleep. Come on, kid, go to sleep.
Okay, you do.
Headlock it
So
out.
this is face a challenge, and I think it's. I feel like it's subtlety, but I will hear an argument for strength.
I'm literally just climbing up,
Yeah, I
racking,
guess. Okay, fine. Give me
wringing
strength.
his neck.
Give him
Let's see if I can
strength.
find it.
You can take advantage if you want to use your action point.
Oh yeah, why not?
Um,
That one, advantage, drop down. Let's do this.
Boom. 11 again.
Yes.
So I think you pivot round, you get it into this grip, and it's like, and then its head kind of falls off.
Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot.
And like
It's not real mine at all.
collapses onto the floor, and it's kind of, you hear a little zzz from inside, and it slowly collapses down. And you can see that like where it's fallen apart, both the head was a cow skull, and the neck is a real backbone, but then it's like padded up with like prop foam
Okay.
and stuff. So this is still in the weird skeleton technology
Yeah.
wheelhouse that we've seen elsewhere on the show.
It's my skeleton.
And yeah, it's almost like there's a secret skeleton city under the secret skeleton city under the ground where they're sourcing all their team from.
Yeah.
And so at that point, it like clunks down. What do you do, Brad? As you're getting up, how do you play this for the crowd?
I guess we'll lift the horns above my head, and we'll all start cheering.
And
Power up by the horns.
And the little I'm going to I've added +1 popularity to Brad there for that epic move. I think the audience are going to love that.
I mean, I was already at max +1. Wait a minute, why has my popularity gone down?
This is a new week. Everyone's reset to 1 popularity because
I didn't do anything with my popularity then.
yes, you did. You came through the Curse of Fonevot.
Those guys had lower and didn't. I want more. Should come from popularity. I think. I suppose
as time goes on, it probably will. But the first thing it does is keep you safe from being voted out.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And so, did you just write plus another popularity? Brad's on fire on your character sheet.
Oh yeah,
All caps.
that was last week. Brad's on fire.
Brad's on
I'm
fire.
on fire.
So, yeah, and the door opens, and the little goblin comes in and says, very good, your first crystal. Treasure it well, heroes, for you will need it if you are to recover the treasures of Newt. Now, what further challenges do you seek to gain? Perhaps you, sir, what would you like to achieve? And he's looking at you, Anders.
Me? Well, I already said that was that not my challenge?
Oh, I assumed this was the challenge of your friend who demanded the Minotaur.
Or
No,
yes, it.
no, we wanted the clever one. Remember?
He says, very well. Then this way, and leads you along.
I thought that was a strange, clever challenge, honestly. But maybe that was the, that was the cleverness of it.
He says, sometimes what you ask for is what you get. And sometimes what you make stupid puns about is what you get. But now, come this way.
Very
And let us
wise,
see
very wise.
let us see how you survive in this challenge. And he opens a door, and inside is a room. And within the room are 3 doors along the wall. A red door, a green door, and a blue door. In front of the doors are 2 guards. And you're ushered in. And the guard on the left says, "Welcome to our room of mystery. One of us always lies," and the other one says, "and the other always tells the truth."
Wait.
And the other one, and the first one says, "Or do they?" You will have 3 guesses to ascertain. In the meantime, you must know that behind one of these doors is a crystal. You may pick the doors, but when you pick the door, we will reveal a goat behind one of the other doors. You then have 1 chance to change your bid. Or do you? You will have to find out whether or not I am lying.
And perhaps the prisoner will give away the other prisoner.
That's it. The crystal, of course, is one of 12 crystals.
Oh.
You have a pair of scales, but they will break on the 3rd use. The crystal weighs a different amount from all the other crystals, the true crystal. The other one goes, "Or does it? This might be a lie."
Is the goblin in this game?
No, the goblin is outside.
Is he with us?
He's outside the door, and there's like a little like peephole you can look back through, and he's like mugging to camera and playing a little.
The bit outside that had a receptacle for crystals.
Yeah.
How many holes did that have?
You think it had 16.
Okay. Well, the thing outside had 16 holes for crystals, so I guess you always lie in if you say there's 12.
He says, "This is behind the door that has the crystal, should you be so lucky and so wise as to find it.
But there's 12 crystals behind one of these doors.
But only one is the true crystal, and it can only be distinguished by weight."
Or is
Oh,
it?
I see. Okay.
So what will it be? Who do you believe? Is it me? And the other guard goes, "Is it me? Is it me? Is it me? Am I the liar? Is he the liar?" And they go off actually into a very short musical number. It's not good, but it is quite impressive that they've obviously been workshopping this for a while, probably while you're coming down all those stairs.
Oh,
So,
I don't bloody know.
What do you do?
What do you guys reckon?
2 doors. 50-50.
There's 3 doors.
3 doors. But there might be a goat.
Well, it says there's a goat behind one of the doors.
There
And the other
might
one
be a
goes,
goat.
"The greatest of all time."
He said that we will choose a door and they will show us a goat.
That is correct, or is it?
So there's probably something about determining whether he's telling the truth there. Because if we ask him, if we just say the blue door and he doesn't show me a goat, then
No, true.
then he's lying. And if he does, he's telling the truth.
Is it? One on the right says, "Rumbled," and the one on the left says, "Not rumbled at all. Could well be lying." So, what do you do? Do you pick a door?
Yeah, it's the blue door.
The guard on the left goes, "Consider the green door," and opens the green door, and behind it is a goat.
There you go. Well, the guard on the left was the one that was saying it originally, wasn't he? So
We should pick the red door.
Well, this is where the Monty Hall problem comes into play.
he's telling the truth.
Change it.
Yeah,
You change it.
you always change it.
Always change it.
I think that is mostly when it's bigger numbers, though.
Which one's the crystal
when you've
behind
got
then, the
3,
guard on the left?
one's a goat. If you pick a
Yeah.
goat,
One
God on
of
the
three
left
is not
says
that hard to get, though.
one of these two.
You're no bloody help, are you?
Says, we didn't say we were going to help.
No, I suppose you didn't. Yeah.
Red door.
We're guards. Technically we should be stopping you, really. The other one says, or should we? Like, no, I
One
think
on the-
they've got that bit. Or have they?
Guard on the right.
Things
Which one's the
covered then.
crystal behind?
Guard on the right says, the crystal is behind the blue door, of course.
Well, the guard on the right is always lies, so let's go for the other one.
The red door. And behind the red door,
Oh no, the
you see a rack of, not Iraq, a
Yes.
rack of crystals. 12 identical crystals like the one you already have. And a pair of scales. God on the left
guard
says,
on the left. Which one's the right one?
I do not know. But the scales can tell you, for it weighs either less or more than all the full fake ones.
I used to know how to work this out, but obviously it left my brain because it's maths.
Isn't it half it and then half it and half it or something?
A bit like that. I mean, you
Not
don't
quite.
have to know. This is probably subtlety.
Yeah,
I
I was going to
reckon.
say, there's got to be magic we can do.
I reckon it's pretty lucky, and I'll just grab it. Here's that one.
Nice job.
Amazing. Yeah. So Anders picks one. So you have nudged probability, which, and on an intermediate success,
I can have one of your beers.
You
You
want
can't really have a smaller or greater effect, can you?
um
Wasn't there like a roll on the table option? That was always
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
so
Oh, that's for something else, isn't it?
yeah, that's for when it goes.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
when it
yeah,
goes
yeah.
bad.
I'll just mark off an additional probability.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So yeah, you grab one, and yeah, you've got a crystal, and you think it's the right one,
Hooray.
and the guard on the right goes, "You've got the wrong crystal," and the guard on the left goes, "Well, I don't know which crystal you've got. I don't know which one's right. Good luck." And then the little goblin opens the door and says, "Well done. You have completed a second great puzzle. What do you seek now?"
Speed or strength?
Uh,
Unless the Minotaur was strength, and
I
we
think we've technically
did
done
accident.
strength, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So speed or what is it? Performance?
Well,
Performance?
you can just you can keep pushing for the thinky stuff if you want.
Nah.
Okay, you're going for
It's Turpentine, and she's got to do a performance.
It's your choice, actually. Muscles.
yeah.
I'll do performance.
You're just going to be juggling clams or something.
Who knows?
Pole dancing.
I actually quite like the idea that it's pole dancing. I had
Like Polish
this
dancing.
is it. So, he says, the goblin, Grinchard the goblin says, "Very well. Let us see how your heroes perform." And leads you into another room. And when you go in, this is like a dressing room. There's a big mirror. There are wigs. There are extravagant dresses. There is everything you need for a drag act set out in this room, and beyond the doorway you can hear cheering. And
So be it.
and you have like in front of you, you have several pieces of like you have a selection of well-known songs to choose as your performance. So this is going to be like Brad's drag queen classics, I think.
Okay.
What are the choices? What's the look?
Probably Return to Innocence.
Enigmatic.
Yeah. And I'm going to do like a feather dance. I'm doing a feather dance burlesque show.
Amazing. This sounds but
with like a mournful edge, kind of like an Indian weeping or a Native American weeping as the man throws the litter. The Simpsons classic.
And everything's in black and white.
Yeah,
It's got quite a sort of vignette around it a little bit. It's slightly slowed down. I might be editing in post for them, but you know.
Nice. Okay, so I think this is going to be face a challenge
with style,
with charm.
Oh,
which is a good choice
style,
for
control, and aggression.
You know, that's better than mind.
It's not terrible.
Yeah. So Brad, you gets dressed up, and as an art choir, are you helping to prepare Brad? Are you helping to do like the look?
Yeah.
Sort out the wig.
Painting on his face. Slightly culturally appropriative.
Yeah, I realised that.
Yeah, amazing. And so, Brad goes out through the door, and sure enough, there is a huge audience in front of you, like far too many people. And Brad, you're doing the act, and it feels like it's going well. You feel empowered. You're having a good time. You're really selling it. And as it draws to a close, you strike your final pose. The spotlight is on you. And then there's kind of like applause. And you see descending from the ceiling slowly comes a single crystal, which is placed in front of you.
Nice.
And you're able to take the crystal.
I'll sleight of hand it with my burlesque feathers.
Oh, yeah, you sleight of hand it into your grip. And it's great. It's gone really well. Unfortunately, out in the world, some of the audience thought it was a bit culturally appropriative.
I knew it.
You do lose one popularity.
That was a risk I had to take.
You had to take it. That's the truth. But you have 3 crystals. And Gritchard the Goblin says, "You may travel on. You may return to the central hall at any point from the maze of crystals. You have already gained a fine number, achieved a fine victory. But if you wish for more, there is always further challenge should you face it."
16 holes, 4 groups.
Why would we want more, Goblin?
The more crystals you have, the more time you have to retrieve the items. For do not imagine that within the crystal it is so simple as picking them up. It is so simple as picking them up, of course. That's all you have to do. But there is a trick to it. And he does a little chinny recon, you'll never think what this trick is.
Is it to use your chin?
You may use whatever you wish.
Okay.
Including chins.
Should we do some more crystals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we haven't done speed yet, have we?
No,
yeah, and so you're led,
not speed.
You're led into a room, and in this room, you walk across. There's like an island in the centre, And about 10 feet below you is water. And on the island are various bits of wood and other bits and bobs, like kind of a bit scrap heap challengey. There's string, there's wood, there's a few other things.
Broken
and
down
as
car.
Richard closes the door, you see that there is another door 20 feet higher up. And the water starts to rise. So what do you do?
Investigate the door higher up. Is it
The door
look like
higher
it's
up.
locked or opened or anything?
The door higher up looks like it's an alcove with a plinth of some kind and a door beyond it.
I think we
Right.
need to look at where the water's coming in from.
The water's just slowly rising around the island in the middle.
But aren't we just going to float up to where we want to go?
That's what I'm thinking. Perfect.
Like, what is it we need to do other than just sit by here and float?
It's a good question.
Speed
water.
challenge, though. Maybe
I
we
mean-
need more water. Keep spitting.
It
The junk in the middle, what sort of stuff is it? Just assorted junk?
is. If you were to do a, why don't we do a investigate a place? This seems like investigate a place type time.
9.
Okay, great. So, which of the questions do you want?
What should I be on the lookout for, maybe?
Yeah, so what you realise as the water starts to rise faster, you can see things moving in it. And
Okay.
they look to be, at first you think it's fish, and then you can see they look long. Brad, you know a few fish, don't you?
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, this water's full of electric eels.
Oh my God, guys, those are electric eels. They're no joke.
Oh my god!
We
Quick!
call them, on the drift, we call them long sparkers.
Long sparkers. Let's use it to power a raft.
Yeah. It's them, they're water stingers, them.
Yeah.
Well, Arkwise, you're our builder. Build us a ladder.
So,
Let's build a ladder,
yeah,
but an electric-powered ladder.
you think the equipment that you have available could be used to build something like some kind of jerry-rigged device or raft or something that would allow you to potentially stay ahead of the electric eels.
Water stingers.
Yeah. To keep out of the conga line, as it were.
Zephyr zappers.
So
Yeah.
Vault wrigglers. Yeah, so what are you building?
Where is it we're getting to? Is it up from us then?
Yeah, it's like 20 feet above you.
Ladder, grapple hook.
But you also
something
think-
like that.
You also think that the water is going to keep rising.
Or some kind of. You could get a electric
What's
eel, reverse its polarity, and bug it back
thinking
in
of
to
something.
neutralize everything.
That's a good idea. Wire them in.
I don't know how tech works.
I suspect it's got to be some kind of raft ladder thing. So a ladder on a raft.
Okay.
Because as it keeps going up, we want to make sure that we're not, in the
Yeah.
zappy sting water.
Yeah, so like some of the barrels you've got there, and then like planks across the top of them, and that sounds like a
Yeah.
pretty.
It doesn't have to be too high tech.
No,
I mean,
Well,
if there's barrels, we could just get some barrels and sit in it so the electric eels can't electric us.
that they're not big barrels. They're like small kegs rather than big barrels. So you could put like if you could get a
One
foot.
on each foot.
Yeah, one on
So we could
each
float
foot.
on them. We could
Yeah.
build a
And,
little raft.
if you
float
could
up on
balance
top.
them in the turbulent water, that would be a heck of an achievement. I'd like to see it.
I think if I roll high,
Yep.
I would like to give it Christmas lights.
Okay, so let's do it on subtlety.
Just peeing again.
Slack
Too
bladder
much beer
here.
and lemonade.
So yeah, let's see how that.
I
A
did
9.
not roll high, so I'm thinking maybe I'm not going to need the electric eels as part of the circuit.
Works well considering the constraints you're working under, but its effectiveness is limited or it has an unexpected or hazardous side effect. So what do we think? I like both of those. Which do you prefer? Limited effectiveness or an unexpected or hazardous side effect?
Side effects
Great.
every time.
So I think, yeah, I'm looking at this. Oh, that's a 9. That's a pretty good roll.
Yeah, it's not far off done.
It's not
Probably just
far
not
off
very
done.
pretty.
The big problem is the Christmas lights. Because
Right.
you got the Christmas lights perfectly so that they do light up every time an eel gets close. And it's kind of like a long, narrow boat. But unfortunately, every time an eel lights up the lights, you do all get small electric shocks.
Oh, that's a added extra.
Yeah, some
isn't
might
it?
say that's fun, but yeah, they're not big electric shocks. It's just like flash zap, flash zap.
Bet it looks good on telly.
Yeah, it's more like you're losing bop it. The other problem, and what does it look like, this raft?
Viking longboat.
I don't think you have the time to make a longboat before you're in the water getting zapped.
Fine. In which case, it's sort of like your average raft you make on like a team building day.
Yeah.
With like barrels on the edge, planks in between them.
Yeah. Classic.
kind
Held
of thing
together with
then.
ropes.
Yeah.
And some Christmas lights on it for panache.
Yeah.
So I think the other problem is, as you float up towards this thing, you don't really have a good way of maneuvering it. So as you start coming into reach of the top, and I'll wait till Stu's back for this because I think we might need Brad's skills here.
We might need punching.
Because there's going to be a gap to cross to actually get there. I think that's the other downside here. The electric shocks are just annoying. But yeah, so you're floating up. I think it's maybe long rather than wide as well. So it's it does have a bit of a ladder vibe. And you're all in a line along it. So Brad, Arkwise has made this raft. It has Christmas lights, but every time they light up because of the eels zapping through the water, you do get a small electric shock.
It's Christmas. It's fine.
Exactly. Everyone seems to like it. As you get closer to the top, the challenge that's facing you is that you're still quite a distance from the door. And you don't have like oars or something to move it around with. So what are you doing about this?
I think there's only one thing I can do. I'm going to give them a salute, and I'm going to step off the raft, and I'm going to start kicking my feet around to get us into position. We've had worse than this in the ocean deep.
Okay.
You slimy stingbags won't get me this day.
Okay, roll receive harm.
Receive ham.
Receive ham, that's right.
Receive ham. Roll plus nothing.
Yeah.
Do you want high or low at this point?
You want low. Once
Yes!
again,
Yeah.
this is
Yes.
the one place where you consistently ace it by going in incredibly low.
Yes.
Yeah, so on a 6, you're fine. You just take a level 1 harm zapped.
I've had worse from flying land bees, because at sea we call them sea bees.
Yeah, okay, so you get over to this doorway and you're able to pull yourself out.
Oh, wait, no, I was pushing the raft.
Oh, you're pushing the raft, so you push it over.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so you get everyone over there.
Yeah, where's this harm?
It's
tab?
on your
Oh,
character sheet. Just one of the level 1 slots. Just right zapped in it. And you are at the side, you're able to retrieve a crystal, and the door flies open. The minute you do, like the little pedestal it's on sinks into the ground, the door in front of you flies open, and there's Grinch the Goblin waiting for you, playing a little tune on the harmonica. They say, "Very good. You have retrieved all the treasures in the maze of crystals."
Quick, help me out. And I'm going to grab his arm and try and pull myself up with him.
Well, you try and pull.
Completing
Firstly,
the circuit.
you just like, he drops to his knees. He has like little plasticky hands. He's no good for holding you up.
He's getting pulled into the water then.
He gets pulled into the water. He's pulled into the water and just you see him get zapped twice. He's just floating there, face down, clearly dead.
I also thought
Get popularity points for that.
it's like a dude in a mask that just fills up with water and he sinks to the bottom. That's pretty spooky, to be fair. Brad thought hilarious hijinks might ensue from putting the little dude into the water, not to electrocute him to death. Oh no.
Yeah, so he's just floating face down and then he slowly sinks. You just see, just like he sinks out of his coat, so there's a little leopard print coat floating at the surface.
Oh no!
But
I'll pull everyone else out and just close the door behind them. Okay, just snap the handle off so they can't get in.
In a way, you're protecting everyone else from the electric eels.
I'm assuming no cameras spotted that.
A camera's absolutely spotted that.
Got cameras up our own asses. Come on.
Funnily enough, it hasn't impacted your popularity because a certain proportion of the audience didn't like it, but also a certain proportion of the audience thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, good. Balances out.
So it kind of averages out.
And I reckon that the tabloids will probably have a field day with it, so that's got to improve.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is going to be a big story when you get back. It's going to be like random guy murdered on the on Fantasy Castle. Practically, Brad. When
you know we can still see the big bag of crisps that you're trying to hide.
When you semi-inadvertently...
At this point. I'm no inadvertent about it.
When you pulled him into the water, it did feel, under that coat, like you were pulling a skeleton.
Okay.
You don't think this was actually a living person?
Okay.
Well, not anymore.
It wasn't by the end anyway, either way, whatever happened. So, you are back in this maze of crystals. And now your only challenge, really, is to return to the hall. So how do you find your way back without your guide?
Just
Stop eating crisps.
It's not even crisps at this point. It's the salt of the popcorn. Look.
That's worse somehow. No, I don't like it. No one likes it. So, how do you find your way back?
Guess we listen out, see what we can hear.
Yeah, you can hear echoing sounds down different corridors. And after a while, you realise that actually it's not very easy to judge which direction sounds are coming from. They kind of echo around.
If only I had bat-like hearing.
A character with bat-like hearing would be all-powerful in this situation.
Yeah, so powerful.
It doesn't help that only the crystals on the wall beside you light up as you approach. So it's kind of be hard to see ahead or behind any noticeable distance.
Team, thoughts? Are there any other doors nearby?
The other doors won't open for you.
Okay.
So,
isn't the way out of a maze you just hold your right hand to the wall and then keep going?
That's what we're trying now.
Yeah, assuming you're not in a maze where you're already have gone in far enough that you're next to a circular section that you can just go round and round.
That seems unlikely. Press ahead.
On the third time back to the same place, you start to suspect that your right hand is on a kind of circular room that you've just gone round twice.
That tells us all we need to do. We're going to place our left hand on, and now we're out. Hey, presto. So, the reverse thing will be true.
Or both.
Yeah, there we go.
So, as you are coming out of the maze, what you find has happened is that everyone else got as many crystals as they're going to some time ago. And they're all kind of waiting to see if you survived. Or waiting for your goblin to come and report. And as you come out, everyone's like, oh, there they are.
We're going to act all angry. Where's that bloody goblin?
He was supposed to show us the way.
We've been walking blind for hours. I'm going to put a complaint in, quite frankly.
And one of the other goblins goes, Grinchett has let you down. We shall reveal his malfeasance. And he you see him touch his head and then he points at the crystal. And on the crystal, you suddenly see a huge image of Brad grabbing him and pulling him into the water. In slow motion. Why me?
He jumped into the water, he swam about, and then he disappeared. Where's he gone?
It's it's him twitching and then slowly sinking out of sight.
Well, that's not how I remember it. Someone's been messing with the feed. This camera system is broken.
Everyone else is kind of has backed away a little bit from you at this point. They're like, I don't know, it might be Psycho. But the goblin kind of looks at you like, we do not like your kind, Slayer. Those who harm the goblin folk are not beloved of our kind. But we work in service to the Labyrinth. If you have the crystals, you may all place them now. And so the other teams put down their crystals. Some have 2, some have 3. I think Team Delta is the only one that's got 4, apart from you. So you got Team Beta have 3, Team Gamma have 2, and Team Delta also have 4. So you have 13 in total. And as each crystal is placed on its stand, it starts to glow. And the dome before you starts to glow. And then you see, and the goblin O'Brien says, "The doors will open shortly. Prepare yourselves," and points at where the goblin is, where the door of this crystal dome is, and all the other teams start lining up. Are you joining this kind of like huddle around the door? Are you going into?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. The doors open, and the magical artifacts on each corner start multiplying. Just like spraying out copies of themselves.
Mhm.
What do you do?
Start grabbing, boys!
Put a net over where they're coming from.
Yeah, so do you have a net?
Yes.
Great. You did have a net when you fought rats, so I'll accept it.
That's true.
If not, large piece of muslin.
We'll use a sieve.
Yeah, so which one are you putting it over? Because these are like 4 different points. One is spraying out axes, one spraying out swords, one spraying out gold halos, and one spraying out like flutes and tin whistles.
I'd say axe.
I'd say flute.
Flute? What's your
A
choice?
Performance. I thought we were going mostly with
please.
wisdom.
Yeah, we did say that, didn't we? Let's go with that.
Sword.
Whatever that one was.
Yeah.
That's the halo.
Halos, yeah.
Ah.
So
Oh,
that
yeah,
does make
sword
sense.
is
I will say, if it had been the axes or the swords, they would have cut your net to pieces immediately. So good, it's good not to use it for
Valid.
those. So you're just letting these keep happening. And for every moment, you're getting more. How big is this net?
Really big.
So big.
But with a very narrow kind of opening.
So
I mean, we've got a giant rat in it.
yeah, you caught a giant rat in it, so it's big enough for a giant rat. Because what you've got now is like a few seconds in, you've maybe got like 800 gold halos in here. Do they all fit in your net?
Yes.
Okay, let's imagine that each one weighs a kilogram. Your net now weighs 800
What?
kilograms.
What? I thought they were like
They're halos.
small.
No, these are halos, and they're big flat gold discs.
Okay. Then maybe there's a limit.
It's like, and everyone else is having the same problems. So,
Is there a place that you deposit them once you've got them? Can you have a little account for something like that? Bank them?
I believe the goal is to find the right ones and bring them out.
Oh, right. Well, they didn't say that, did they?
Okay. Well, I think halos, because you've got a hole on them. You could like rack them up on someone's arm like really big donuts.
Yeah,
And then
this is it. You can
see which one's the real one.
It appears that you can take more than one out, but that may not help you identify which is the right one.
Okay.
And if you can't take all of them out, then the right one might still be locked inside.
Right.
I'm going to have a look at the pile.
Yep.
With investigate.
Okay, so let's do this.
14.
Unbelievably smart. Just like so good at investigating.
This dome.
So
you might have a really good in here.
Yeah, I was thinking that I would ask what he was magical and see if I could spot like the magical items.
Yeah, and so item 1, all of them are magical because they're all magically created copies of the original.
Okay, yeah.
So, but you can definitely...
Oh, they're actually magically created copies of the original.
Yeah, these are magically created. These are being cloned by magic. which is
That just
wild
pinged
because this is
too.
kind of right on camera.
Yeah.
So it looks like, maybe people outside are thinking this is something, some kind of special effect, but you can see, no, these are like being cloned magically. And it's like a spell that propagates from one to one. So in fact, what you have, this is quite cool. You have like on the outside of this growing pile of them, you have magical ones. Then just behind that, you have completely non-magical ones. And somewhere down at the bottom, you can feel that there is another magical one.
Go grab that one.
Yeah, okay. So I think you've got your magical halo.
Sweet.
Good moves. That's some solid thinking.
Is it just one of these items that we need, or can we also go and identify the magical one on the other teams?
You can go and look through for the others as well, for sure. Like on that roll, I think you can see that Callie already has the axe.
Okay.
You can see that the flute. The flutes are a bit different because there seem to be lots of magical flutes, not just the ones that are being magically created like these, but like this is a weird selection. They all look different. It's harder to tell which is the right one. But you do still have 2 questions.
What advantage can I find here?
Yeah, so something you realise is that whether or not you find the magical flute, if you pick up a couple of the most interesting looking magical flutes, if they come out with you, you'll still have some cool magical flutes that you'll be able to maybe figure out what they do later.
Yeah,
Oh.
true.
Okay.
Grab some of those.
So yeah, you're able to pick up, let's say 3 magical flutes of unknown property. And you're not sure if any of those is the original. But yeah, I think that's probably a good answer to that.
Okay. And then
And I guess what evidence of is quite a good one.
what evidence of the broken can I find here?
Oh, that is interesting. Yeah, so I think you find one of the flutes you pick up feels like the presence of the broken. This is a magical flute that has some connection to it.
I'll stash that one then.
Yeah, stash that one on one side. And it's kind of it looks primitive and kind of primal in form. So yeah, that you definitely find that. You do not know if you have found the flute of Newt, but you have definitely found magic flutes.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone else is also searching. And there's the other problem is the other side of the room. There's something akin to a volcano of swords, which creates its own problems just in terms of approaching it.
Mm-mm.
That's what some of the other teams. That's what Rocky Open Moxis and Togs Gernard are both kind of trying to fight their way through by using swords to back the other swords aside so they can get close to where the original sword was. So yeah, that's kind of the other challenge. You think you've definitely got the axe and the halo. You've definitely got some magical flutes.
Yeah, that's fine. That'll do then.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
That'll do, you pig.
Either of the rest of you looking for anything fancy in here or some cunning way of getting something out?
Or just have a look around. Is there anything else that's
There is
nickable?
a volcano of swords over there. You've got
Yeah,
the
okay.
ability to do things that other people can't do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay.
So you
Let's
could
go and do this
potentially
thing.
you could use your other sight if you investigated a place, or you could just try and use your power to make your way through to the source of the volcano, which might be the original sword.
Let me just see if I can find what other site does.
The other site gives you an extra question on investigate a place, which is specifically related to magic.
I mean, yeah, let's do that one for the hell of it.
Yeah, okay, so give me an investigate a place roll.
One.
Incredible!
What does my magic reveal about this place, Benjamin?
That is the
One.
lowest possible roll.
Yeah.
Like literally,
How did
you don't.
Oh, your mind is -1.
Yes, you are -1 on got the
That's
snake
amazing.
eyes.
Because
So funny.
Perfect.
Okay, so Brad,
Mm.
you see exactly where the sword is. How do you retrieve it? What do
I'm
you
just
do
going to grab it. I'm just
Just
going to reach in and grab it.
And there's this kind of rain of swords, and
which is fine.
Yeah.
and
it's
you're
fine.
like, they're like cutting you, but it's not that serious. You're kind of getting scraped up. So yeah, mark the level 1 harm.
Uh-oh.
Cut. But you get this sword, and it feels so right in your hand.
Mm.
It's beautiful and natural,
It's beautiful.
and it just
It's
fits into your
natural.
grip.
And definitely cursed. by
Feels
that
Definitely
description.
not
At
cursed.
home. And as everyone retreats from the dome, carrying their treasures, and the dome darkens and seals behind you. And it looks like maybe everything's come out.
Huzzah!
So that's good news. And and as you return towards the door, the sword in your hand starts to glow brighter.
I
And
got the right one.
There's goblins near.
and it glows and it glows and it flares. And you're standing on a green open plain. There are trees in the distance. Riders approach across the plain. And all 3 of Team Alpha are here. No one else is. None of the other competitors. And you are under a bright sky in a world.
Is your sword doing that, Brad?
Look at the sword. Indeed it is, fair champion. I
Uh,
have brought you on a quest many miles. No, I don't know what's happening. Just play it cool. We'll see what these riders want.
The riders
episode.
approach, and one of them says, "Yield." They are kind of very white-faced humans. But they're wearing tightly fitted helmets of gleaming black, what looks like carapace, and gleaming black armor. And the leader says, "Yield the blade to us, Herald of Worlds."
I'm going to, just for the end scene, I'm going to get my sword in the middle, turn to the side and go like, make us.
Yeah, I think that's a great place to stop.
Oh, I hope the camera's caught that. Wait a minute.
Yeah, there are no cameras here.
I'm off script. Yeah, boobs, boobs, willies and bums. They're the worst words on the show that are like you cannot say. It's the list as we signed up. Do not double boob it and do not mention willies and bums.
The worst. Good job, everyone. That was a lot of fun.
Hey.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Catch you next time, friends. And